sir.
We have today as our very special guest one of my favorite people on the planet Earth, the former governor of the great state of Missouri and a candidate for United States Senate, my friend Eric E. Money Greitens.
Hey,
E. Money, what up, man?
And it's good to be on with you and James. Thanks for having me.
Man, that's about time, man. I've been trying to book you. You be like, hey, your girl call my girl. You've been ducking and dodging, sending me the voicemail, answering the phone, saying hello, and then acting like you weren't there. But I stayed at it. How's it going, young man? I know you're busy right now. You're about busy as a one-leg man in a butt-kicking contest right now. Get that visual in your head. A one-leg man in a butt-kicking contest. That's you. That's how busy you are.
We are very busy, Pastor Scott, but we're having a lot of fun. And as you said, I'm running for the United States Senate, running to continue to fight for the people of the state of Missouri. As you and I have talked about, I'm a Navy SEAL, did a couple deployments overseas, including to Iraq and Afghanistan, came back home after my team was hit by a suicide truck bomb, worked with my fellow veterans, finding ways to help men and women who came home, who'd lost limbs, who'd lost eyesight, who had PTSD, TBI. And then stepped up, served the people of Missouri as their governor, and we fought. We fought against the establishment. We killed a politician's pay raise. We killed corrupt tax credit programs. We defeated Antifa when they came to Missouri, and now I'm honored to be stepping up to fight for the people of Missouri as their United States Senator, because as you and James have been talking about, we got a lot of crazy, lunatic, leftist policies coming out of D.C. with Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, and Chuck Schumer. And we need America First candidates who are willing to stand up and fight, and that's exactly what I'm willing to do.
Yeah, absolutely right. Now, which seat are you running for? Who retired?
So this is Roy Blunt, who's a senator from the state of Missouri. He's announced that he is retiring. So this is an open Senate seat, and we are running for it. We're running hard. We got thousands of people around the state of Missouri who are stepping up to join us in this cause. They're all going out to ericgreitens.com. They are stepping up to be foot soldiers for freedom, and we are having a good time, man.
Hey, listen, I was with the president one time in the Oval Office, and he was touting some of his accomplishments to us. And he said, you know what? Sometimes people don't want to give you your credit, so you got to give it to yourself. But I'm going to give you credit. Hey, man, that first poll came up, and you're up by a whopping margin. You're up by like 40 points. What's up with that? What platform, what's the reason why? Why are you up by that much this early?
Well, look, we're up. This was President Trump's pollster. He came out with a poll that had us at 48. The closest opponent was down at 11. You had other folks at 7 and 9. And the reason is that the people of Missouri know that I'm a fighter. They also know that the country is in crisis. They know that they need a fighter. And what President Trump's pollster found is that our folks are intense. We have people who are intensely supportive of us across the state of Missouri because they know what's at stake. They know that this is an important election. They recognize what's happened in the country. They appreciate President Trump's broad-based prosperity policies. They appreciate President Trump's law and order policies. They appreciate President Trump's peace through strength policies, and they know that I'm going to continue to fight for that agenda because it works for the people of Missouri. And it's real simple. You know, we got a lot of enthusiastic, inspired people out there, and they've all joined the campaign.
James?
This administration has the gas pedal down, really, on these socialist policies. I mean, they're printing money and spending it like drunken sailors, and now we hear about this additional $2 trillion in so-called infrastructure that's really the Green New Deal. What's the pulse in your state to get conservatives back in office so that we can lame duck this president 2 years from now? Because, you know, that's, if we don't do that, then I would say that, you know, we're spiraling down the toilet pretty fast.
Yeah, James, I would say they got the gas pedal down, screaming down the mountainside. I mean, these guys are pushing leftist wish list priorities faster than any administration we've ever seen in American history. You know, they called it a COVID stimulus bill, but as you and the pastor have talked about, only about 10% of that money was actually going to help Americans because of the coronavirus, 90% of it was going to leftist wish list priorities. And every single one of your viewers today, Pastor and James, who are watching this show, if you're a taxpayer, they just saddled you with an additional $5,000 in debt. And now they're trying to do the same thing. You've seen reckless spending. It's out of control. At the same time, they're trying to defund the police. They're trying to take away your weapons. They've turned the border over to Mexican drug gangs and cartels. This is a reckless and dangerous leftist administration, and it's why we have got to fight them.
I know that's right. Listen, you and I and my partner Kareem have had extensive conversations thus far about leveling the playing field economically for African Americans and for those that are of other minority groups. We looked at the absence of black banks in America and how there's a need for economic justice and economic reform and financial to level that financial playing field. So we've had some great talks about that. And I think that if the black people, regardless of their political persuasion, hear these plans that you have to enhance our black community, I think that they would turn out to vote for you as well. What do you think?
Well, look, I think so, Pastor Scott. Look, the fact is one of the reasons why President Trump did so well among African-American voters is that his policies actually worked for the black community. And we need to talk about black economic empowerment. We need to recognize that these leftist policies are hurting people in their pocketbooks. Look, leftist policies, if you're talking about open borders and immigration, that is bad for economics for all Americans, and it hurts our efforts at black economic empowerment. Regulation, the overregulation that leftists are pushing, higher taxes, all of these things hurt the black economic empowerment agenda. In addition, when you have this tremendous rise in violent crime across the country, that also hurts economics, right? It is tragic what is happening. It also has an economic effect because, as small business owners will tell you, when you got higher crime, you've got higher insurance costs. It's harder to attract people to work there. It's harder to run a business. All of these things, all of these leftist policies are hurting all Americans, and they are having a particularly negative effect on black Americans' efforts to create wealth. We have to have a black economic empowerment agenda, and if we do as conservatives, it's really important that we get this message out. If we do that as conservatives, we'll have more and more black Americans voting for conservatives because these are policies that work for them and for their families.
Well, listen, thanks for coming on. Our time is running short, but I got to get you back. Let me say this to all the voters out there in Missouri, if you're watching. A vote for E-Money is a vote for your money.
That's good.
That's a good campaign slogan. I got to get you back, man. We'll be back on SmackDown after this break.